Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mildly Gothic. If you're new here, what I like to do is a variety of artsy content, ranging from anything and everything that strikes my fancy, that I have some experience in, I have no experience in, or something I saw on the internet that I kind of think would be cool to try. It's all kind of up to fair game. It is all kind of fair game. It is entirely dependent on my mood. And rarely do I actually circle back to fix things that I mess up. One, because of the interests changing and moving on to new projects, and two, because they get buried under that mountain of new projects and I forget about them. But today I'm determined to fix that. About a month ago, I posted working on this dress because I went to Disney and around Halloween saw all of the Nightmare Before Christmas stuff and was super inspired. However, this dress had some problems when I finished it at the point of the video, and I knew it, but I was just so happy with getting the thing done. I didn't take the extra 2 days to kind of finish everything up. And that included hemming all of those edges, even the wonky ones, and then also adding her skirt has a photo reference, possibly. I also do have a little Sally doll. Her skirt has, as I lift up the tulle layer, because this one has two, this little yellow square on it right there. And mine did not. That is the one thing, when I was finishing that video, I realized mine did not have this yellow square right there. So I wanted to add it. I hope I'm in frame. I wanted to add it. So that's what this video, the big thing of this one is. It's just the really quick fixing it up, the small things that I tweaked to make this thing the true full and complete version. There's still so many threads to cut off this thing. I feel like they're never ending. Since this will be my last video before the New Year's, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, all of that wonderful stuff. I hope you are spending time with your family and enjoying their company and just enjoying your holidays. So with that, I will see all of you in the new year and enjoy this little quick video on finishing up this costume. One of my biggest gripes about the project's state that I left it in last time was it was not ironed. So for some reason, instead of doing everything else that was going to require manipulation of the dress first, I decided to iron it first. Not a good idea. It just got wrinkled again. So I do not show it, but the final product before I take more pictures in it is ironed and nice and clean to try to make it look just that much better. Also, the paint actually dealt with the iron super well. I had it on a very low temperature, one that you would not normally have it on for cotton because I was worried about the paint being affected by it, but it did not seem to be affected by the ironing at all. So this is not a true rolled hem that I'm doing. I'm just folding over the edge to get a nice crisp line. I didn't use an iron to fold any of this over. You definitely can, as you use an iron to kind of help the fabric stay in place before you pin it in place. Probably should have, wasn't really necessary. This fabric was cooperating quite easily. I did make slits along, small cuts into the fabric up to where the edge was going to be, so that I could fold it in pieces and actually maintain that nice curve instead of losing it as you fold it over. It's kind of the same thought process as when doing the princess seam. You need to make slits so that it can actually curve and allow for that shape to emerge. So I did that along every hem. I broke it up into 4 sections, 2 pink and 2 yellow, just because I didn't want to use the same thread color across the whole thing. So took it one section at a time, pinned all the yellow at once, pinned all the pink at once, because I knew that I was going to have to change colors in the middle. But yeah, just take your time, fold over the hem. It's quite simple. So I now have the yellow all hemmed, and the super great thing is I don't have, technically, a pink thread. I have a pink bobbin. I have pink thread that matches this on a bobbin, but not the actual spool. So I'm debating black or pink. I might go get my boyfriend's thoughts on this, but depending on whichever one I choose, tell me in the comments if you think I should have done the other color. But yeah, I've gotten the sleeve hemmed, and then I do also have teal thread to hem this up, so I'll probably do this next just because it's pretty straightforward. And then we'll add, this is the back, but then I will add the missing piece, which is that yellow square right there. This blue sleeve is probably why I didn't hem it in the first place, because it was just so small and tedious, but I did it. I went through exact same process as before. You just have to make sure to cut at the very base of the V so you can fold those over. And also I cut all of the tips flat off, so that way when I folded the fabric over, they met nicely at a point and there wasn't any extra bulky fabric at the very tip of the points on the sleeve. Painting this was incredibly easy. I just took the largest scrap of yellow that I had and covered it in dots using the back of a paintbrush, the exact same way I did for the actual yellow dotted section on the skirt. So now that my piece of fabric is all dry, I was trying to fold it up and see about what size I wanted it, and I knew it was going to be too big, and that was the point. As my dog drinks some water very loudly. You're so cute. And that is why there is a mat under the water, even though it still gets all over the floor. But, you know, it's fine. I'll get you some more water in a second, buddy. Jesus. Okay, dog has more water. Back to this. But I'm trying now to figure out the geometry of this, because again, her costume is not super consistent over images, but I feel like my striped section is a little bit thinner than some other ones, so I don't want to make this too big because the other polka dot is right there. So what I'm thinking is the placement that I think I've liked is about when it takes up one pink stripe. So I think I'm going to pretty much cut it to size. I'm going to cut it slightly larger than this so that I can fold it over under and hem it, because I am going to actually stitch this onto the dress, and then I'm going to do the black lacing just like before. But I think that's about the right size. I've just kind of have this on my ironing board and I'm laying it out, so we're just going to kind of go for it. Once I figured out the size and placement of the yellow square that I wanted, I pinned along the edges of the folded square just so I could get an idea of what that outline was going to be, so I could cut past that for the seam allowance, because I was going to roll that hem underneath just to preserve the edges of the cotton and sew that down all the way across. So once I had those corners and edges marked, I cut the fabric, pinned it then in place to the dress itself, and sewed it down with some yellow thread. This was really easy, very quick, didn't take much time at all, and I chose to do it this way with the edges rolled under just because, you know, if cotton frays, I wanted it to be nice and trapped, and it already was going to get the frayed patchwork look from the black yarn that was going to outline the edges in just a second. And last but not least, adding the yarn. So the yellow square is fully attached, and it was surprisingly easy to sew through the painted sections. I was a little bit worried about sewing through the painted fabric, but my sewing machine handled it like a champ. So by hand with an embroidery needle, I did the exact same thing I did for the entire rest of the dress, and went in and out and changed the sizes and the angles and just tried to make it look like a patch added onto the dress. Unfortunately, I don't have any pictures of me in the updated dress, so you'll just enjoy this footage as my little outro. Thank you so much for watching this video if you got to this point. I don't always get to finish projects or update them the way I want, so this was really fun to be able to do. If you thought it was also interesting, please give it a like. It really helps out the video and my channel. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas, holiday, just end of the year season, and I will see you in 2024.